Long ago, in a beautiful land nestled in the foothills of the Himalayas, a prince was born. His name was Siddhartha Gautama. This was a special birth. Flowers bloomed out of season, and a gentle rain fell from a clear sky. His father, King Suddhodana, was the leader of the Shakya clan. He ruled a small kingdom in what is now Nepal. The king loved his son very much and wanted him to have a life free from all sadness and pain. He built 3 magnificent palaces for Siddhartha, one for each season, and filled them with every imaginable pleasure. Soft silks, delicious foods, beautiful music, fragrant gardens. The young prince was surrounded by youth, beauty and comfort, never seeing anything that might trouble his heart. Siddhartha grew into a fine young man. The images of old age, sickness and death remained in Prince Siddhartha's mind. The comfort of his palace now felt like a beautiful cage. He could no longer enjoy the music and dancing, knowing that outside the walls, life was filled with so much pain. The peaceful face of the holy man he had seen gave him a direction. He realized that to find the truth, he could not stay in his life of luxury. He had to leave it all behind. One night, when the palace was quiet and everyone was asleep, he made a very difficult decision. This is known as the Great Departure. He went to say a silent goodbye to his wife Yashodhara and his sleeping son Rahula. His heart was full of love for them, but his compassion for all suffering beings was even stronger. Siddhartha quietly left the palace with his loyal charioteer Channa and his favorite horse Kanthaka. He rode until he reached the edge of a forest. There he took off his royal robes. He cut his long hair with his sword, a symbol of his renunciation of his old life as a prince. Having regained his strength, Gautama walked until he found a peaceful spot under a large peepal tree, which would later be known as the Bodhi tree. He made a cushion of grass and sat down facing east. He made a powerful vow to himself. Though my skin and bones may wither, though my flesh and blood may dry up, I will not rise from this seat until I have found the supreme enlightenment. As he sat through the night, it is said that Mara, a figure representing temptation and delusion, tried to stop him. Mara appeared with armies of fearsome demons and sent his beautiful daughters to tempt him with desire. But Gautama remained perfectly still, his mind like a calm lake. He touched the earth with his hand, calling the earth itself to be his witness. The ground shook in response, and Mara and his armies vanished like a dream. In the first watch of the night, he gained the ability to see all of his own past lives. In the second watch of the night, just as the morning star appeared in the eastern sky, Gautama saw the ultimate truth. He was the Buddha, the awakened one. After his enlightenment, the Buddha felt a deep compassion for all beings who were still caught in the cycle of suffering. He walked from the Bodhi tree along a quiet path to the deer park at Sarnath. There he found the 5 ascetics who had practiced with him in the forest. The Buddha gave his first teaching, the first turning of the wheel of Dharma. In this first sermon, the Buddha explained the very heart of his teaching, the 4 noble truths. The first noble truth is the truth of suffering, or dukkha. There is the suffering of birth, old age, sickness, and death. The second noble truth is the truth of the origin of suffering, samudaya. Its root cause is craving or thirst, called tanha. We crave pleasant experiences, we crave material things, we crave for our sense of self to continue forever. The third noble truth is the truth of the cessation of suffering, nirodha. This is the good news. The Buddha taught that because suffering has a cause, it can also have an end. If the cause, craving and ignorance, is removed, then suffering will cease. This cessation is called nirvana, a state of complete freedom, peace, and the end of all suffering. It is the extinguishing of the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion. This gives us hope and a clear goal for our spiritual practice. After explaining that suffering can be ended, the Buddha taught how to end it. This path is not one of extremes, but the balanced middle way that the Buddha discovered. It's called the Noble Eightfold Path because it is made up of 8 interconnected practices. The Eightfold Path can be grouped into 3 trainings: wisdom, prajna, ethical conduct, sila, mental discipline, samadhi. Wisdom training includes right view and right intention. Right view is to see and understand things as they really are, to understand the 4 noble truths. Right intention is the resolve to renounce craving, to act from a place of loving kindness and compassion. Ethical conduct training includes right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Right speech means speaking truthfully and kindly. It means refraining from lying. Right action means acting in ways that are harmless, not killing or harming any living being. Mental discipline includes right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Right effort is the gentle but persistent energy we apply to our practice. Right mindfulness is the practice of being fully aware of the present moment without judgment. Right concentration is the practice of developing a calm, focused, one-pointed mind through meditation, to see deeply into the nature of reality and to achieve liberation. Beyond the core framework of the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, the Buddha's teachings are filled with profound insights that help us live with more peace and freedom. One of the most important is nonviolence, or ahimsa. This is the practice of not causing harm to any living creature in our thoughts, words, or actions. That understanding gives rise to compassion, or karuna, the wish for all beings to be free from pain. It is the heart of the path. Another essential teaching is the reality of impermanence, or anicca. The Buddha taught that everything in the universe is in a constant state of change. Nothing is permanent. Our bodies change, our feelings change, the world around us changes from moment to moment. By looking deeply into impermanence, we learn to let go and to appreciate the preciousness of each moment as it is. Flowing from impermanence is the profound insight of no self, or anatta. The Buddha taught there is no permanent, unchanging, separate self apart from life. What we call ourself is actually a combination of ever-changing elements, our physical body. These 5 aggregates are always flowing like a river. This can be a difficult idea to grasp, but it is deeply liberating. We see that we are interconnected with everything. The middle way is the path of balance and moderation. For 45 years after his enlightenment, the Buddha traveled on foot throughout the Ganges River Valley teaching the Dharma, his path of awakening. He taught people from all walks of life, kings, farmers, merchants, beggars' men, women. He established a community, or sangha, monks, nuns. He also had a large following of lay people who practiced his teachings while living in the world with their families and jobs. The Buddha's way of teaching was always gentle, clear, and practical. When the Buddha was 80 years old, he knew that his life was coming to an end. He gathered his disciples and gave them his final instructions. He told them not to be sad, because his physical body was not the real teacher. He told them that the Dharma, the teachings themselves, would be their guide after he was gone. After his passing, his senior disciples gathered to hold the first Buddhist council. The most significant event in the early spread of Buddhism happened about 200 years after the Buddha's death, during the reign of the great Indian emperor Ashoka. After one particularly brutal battle, he was filled with remorse for the immense suffering he had caused. He encountered a Buddhist monk whose calm presence deeply moved him, and he decided to convert to Buddhism. He also sent Buddhist missionaries to other countries, planting the first seeds of Buddhism across the world. As Buddhism spread from India to different countries and cultures over many centuries, it naturally adapted and evolved. Imagine a great river that flows from a mountain branching into many smaller streams, each with its own character but the same water. The main schools are like these streams, different practices and texts yet sharing core teachings. The Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, Theravada Buddhism, the Way of the Elders. Prominent in Sri Lanka, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, emphasizes the original teachings as found in the Pali Canon. Ideal practitioner, the Arahant. One who attained nirvana for themselves, ending their own cycle of suffering. Practice focuses: mindfulness meditation, ethical conduct, the monastic life as the direct path to liberation. Mahayana Buddhism, the great vehicle. Prevalent in China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Tibet. Ideal practitioner, the Bodhisattva, who postpones final nirvana to help all beings become enlightened. Enlightenment is possible for everyone, not just monks and nuns. Practices include chanting, visualization, devotion, meditation. Vajrayana Buddhism, the diamond vehicle, Tibetan Buddhism, builds on Mahayana philosophy and compassion with practices to accelerate the path. Practices: advanced meditation techniques, visualizations of deities' mantras, strong reliance on a qualified teacher or guru, a direct, potent path requiring great skill and proper guidance. Today, more than 2,500 years after the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, his teachings continue to be a source of peace and wisdom for hundreds of millions of people around the world. Buddhism has a strong presence throughout Asia, from the Theravada countries of the south to the Mahayana and Vajrayana regions of the north and east. In each place it has blended with the local culture, creating a rich and beautiful tapestry of art, festivals, and traditions. Monasteries and temples serve not only as places of worship and practice, but also as centers of community education and charity. The gentle ringing of a temple bell is a reminder of the path of awakening, a sound that is echoed through centuries. In the last century, Buddhism has also spread widely in the West, in countries across Europe, the Americas, and Australia. Many people have been drawn to its message of peace, its practical methods for training the mind, and its profound philosophy. People from all backgrounds have found value in the teachings, whether they approach it as a religion, a philosophy of life, or a set of psychological tools for well-being. Buddhist meditation centers and retreat facilities can now be found in many cities. One of the most significant ways the Buddha's teachings are impacting the modern world is through the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the simple but powerful practice of paying attention to the present moment with kindness and without judgment. It is now used in hospitals, in schools, in workplaces, and in therapy. The timeless message of Buddhism is one of hope, responsibility, and freedom. The Buddha's legacy is not a set of dogmas, but a living invitation to wake up, to find peace within, and to bring that peace